In this video, we're going to discuss several ways that we identify short-term trends on the E-mini S&P. And in the first part of this, we're going to be talking about the market breadth score that TradeStation designed. It's a pretty interesting indicator and can be useful in a variety of ways to identify these short-term trends. Now, the market breadth score is made up of additional data streams, which we're showing here. Data streams 2, 3, 4, and 5 are made up of different moving averages. Now, essentially, these are the number of S&P 500 stocks for which today's close greater than the 10, 20, 50, or 200-day moving average of the close. So that's what those data feeds are standing for, and when you combine them together into this market breadth score, it becomes a useful tool. Now, here's one way that you can use this tool. This histogram, the green portion is above the zero line, and of course the yellow portion is below the zero line. So a simple way would be only go long once you are above the zero line and the slope of the histogram is positive. Go short below the zero line if the slope is negative. Okay? Now, you're obviously going to get some measure of whipsaw in all of this, but the idea is to make a few points. So if we were just looking at this particular day, we would not be going long at the bottom here. We'd wait until we were here. Then we would go long. But we wouldn't be long if the slope was negative. We'd be short if the slope was negative, but we wouldn't be short if the slope was positive. Okay? So it's a simple way to read the indicator and elect to trade according to the trend. You can then adjust the frequency from a 1 minute to a 5 minute, 15-minute chart, whatever time frame you want to use for the purpose of determining that trend. The accuracy, of course, will somewhat depend on which time frame you choose. But the point is that even if you're using a slower trend, slower time interval, like a 5-minute chart or even 15, you're simply agreeing that you will trade in the direction of that trend, but not against the slope of the trend. So, like right in here, you're only trading short trades, and here you're only trading long trades, but you're never trading against the slope. Now, another way to look at the short-term trend is to take the moving average data feed that we just referred to. In this case, we'll take the 10-day, and we'll set it to a 5-minute chart, and we'll run z-score on it. And we would apply the rule this way. If the histogram is below 0, we're only taking short trades. But again, we're never taking a short when the slope of the z-score is positive. If we're above the 0 line, then we're only taking long trades, but never at a time when the slope of z-score is negative. So this helps us to identify the short-term trend and, for the most part, avoid circumstances wherein we may get whipsawed. So, for example, throughout here, we're only taking short trades. Only short trades. Now we're basically waiting for this to get above 0. Now it's okay to take long trades, as long as the slope is in agreement with the trade. So then when we use a shorter time frame on the ES itself, where we're applying the z-score indicator, if we're going to go short, we want the slope of z-score to be negative. All right? We want that slope to be negative, but we don't want to trade when the slope of the z-score on the 1-minute chart is positive. And if you want to get real refined, you could add to that the idea of only trading short trades while the histogram is below 0 as well. Now here we have the same concept once again, except here we're using a 20-day moving average instead of a 10. Apply it in the same fashion that we applied the rules to the 10-day moving average, only short trades below 0, long trades above 0, and the slope of the z-score always has to be in agreement. So you could combine, say, the 1-minute chart on the ES with a 5-minute chart on both a 10-day moving average and a 20-day moving average. You could take it up to a 50-day moving average, even a 200-day moving average, and apply the same rules. Now, obviously, you'll get different results depending upon how many of these data streams you're looking at the same time. But of course, the strategy that we use can look at as many of those data streams as you choose to use. But this will help to identify the overall trend and then trade with the trend, and preferably trading in only one direction. It makes a lot of sense. It's a good way to do that. So this basically completes our concept here of how to use the market breadth, and particularly the z-score indicator, for identifying these short-term trends, and in some cases longer-term trends, depending on how the market is moving. So that completes the purpose of this video.